So, welcome everyone back to the Guild Community Call number 19. Can't believe we've been doing this for 19 events already. It's pretty crazy. Can't wait to get to 100. It's probably going to take us a few years, but here, we don't give up. So, thank you so much for joining today again. We're going to talk about a lot of product updates, including a little bit of celebration, our SDK in action, some new integrations that are really fun and we'd like you to try and see, and some community updates, of course, because we always have those. This session, as usual, is recorded for our YouTube and it's also broadcasted into Twitter Spaces so that folks over there can join as well. And still, we are uploading more and more guides and content on our YouTube. So make sure to check that out ever so often or subscribe to know when we put something new out there. We try to do it at least once a week, but you'll see we're doing our best. And one more notification / handy thing to say is that we still would like to ask you that we have the help desk for support for our questions and everything on our interface. In the little chat bubble, we barely have any support on the server anymore. So just a heads up with that as well. Again, like always, now that I've said all the little necessities, here on the stage. Oh, by the way, introducing myself. I'm Reka, co-founder of Guild XYZ. On the stage with me is Hannah, lead community manager in our team, and also a new team member joined us a few weeks ago, Norby, who's helping us with community as well. Very happy you guys are here. We have a lot of things, so let's just dive deep into it. Let's just get it started. Also, wait, do you guys want to say hi real quick before I get into it?
Hi, guys.
Hi, GM. Actually, I'm just speechless because I was checking the event stage and there are pictures about us. And I'm just like, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah, they are trying to figure out like who's Reka, who's Hannah.
Cool. We could turn on camera some other time as well.
Yeah.
Cute. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You can see us on our YouTube a lot, and I post a lot of videos on our Twitter account as well, so you can see us there if you'd like to see more of the team. But yeah, let's just jump into the updates. We'll start with product, then we move into some team things, and then at the end we'll do community. This is kind of our usual route. So I'll start with product. Two things that we talked about already in depth in our previous two community calls, but I'll still have some news about it and some explanation. So the first one of that is payment as a requirement. You know, our new integration that we developed, our new staple requirement type payments. It's the Substack model, so you can actually monetize every type of access, enabling you to have tickets, monetize events, focus discussion groups, and all that type of stuff that we talked about last time. We have a cool YouTube video about it as well. If you guys could share it in the chat, if someone wants to see, that explains a lot about the potential of this integration or this feature. Sorry, it's a feature. It's not an integration. This is our OG development, not someone else's. Yeah, so we talked about it last time. And the thing that I'd like to mention is we started to roll this out very, very slowly. So we do communicate about it, but we have a sign up method. This is kind of our first experiment with not just testing things in prod and putting out our features as quickly as possible, but to have a wait list and be very, very mindful with how we roll this feature out. We want to make sure that there's no scams that we allow on our website to happen. So until we have an automated verification system in place, we're going to make sure to the best of our abilities to only give or only enable this feature in guilds that we deem are true and aren't just, well, you know, scamming their users for payment. So we rolled this feature out pretty slowly. There's only a few communities using it so far. Hannah, if you want to say a few words about how people could apply to it.
Yes, for sure. Basically, how we made this is that you have a form for wardens, and how wardens can actually get access to it is whether you're a guild owner or you're a guild admin, you just have to click at any requirement, any role, and edit it. And once you are choosing the requirements, that page where there are the different requirements you can choose from. Basically, there is the payment alpha written. And if you just click on that button, you're going to get access to that dedicated form. And once the form is created, once you are submitting it, I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna take a look at them, and we're gonna figure out together like how we could include, this feature into your community. So I'm gonna get in touch with everyone who is like potential to become an alpha also.
Awesome. Thank you. So this is our method. It's very manual for now, but we want to be very mindful. So everybody deal with it. We're doing our best that we can. By the way, if you have a good verification automation suggestion that you like how other products are doing it, let us know. We're in talks with many, trying to learn from each other. So yes, very excited to see what you do with this feature, by the way. Can't wait to see the best and most creative use cases of win-win-win situations with your communities. The second thing, it's still about purchasing, but it's purchase as a requirement, which we talked about, I think, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, when we released it only on the Arbitrum community, that you can directly buy assets that are requirements on Guild. We aggregate exchanges in the backend, and this is a much more, actually the fastest way to get, especially these small amounts of tokens that are usually requirements. This is a really great convenience feature. It's the fastest way to check out. And we also roll this out extremely slowly and mindfully with a few communities, although this is a much more permissionless feature than the payment as a requirement. And a really excited piece of news about it, Developer DAO started using it to get their code tokens as requirements to entry. Super cool. Now we have more use cases to show you guys how this feature is benefiting communities and makes users and members' lives much quicker and easier and simpler. This is what we're all about here. So wonderful to see that happen. The next thing is we made some changes with our POAP integration. As you know, we had this in the works since end of summer. We've been working on our native official POAP distribution mechanisms and the payment processor for that. So we made some new changes, but I'll give it over to Henna so she can say a few words what changed and what you guys can see and experience when you work with POAP through Guild.
Yes, actually, as you just said, also, we've been working a lot on POAP, like restructuring the whole thing, like how Guild admins can actually distribute POAPs in the smoothest way to their communities, to dedicated group of people, and all these things. And I'm happy to announce that as of today, POAPs are actually rewards. So basically, they act exactly the same as a Discord server, a Telegram group, and something like this. The Google Docs, all these things. Once a guild is created, guild admins can actually just click on the add reward button, and they're gonna be finding the POAPs there. And what is really exciting about this is, as you remember before, you could guild gate your POAPs only by attendance, like the voice requirement, or there was the monetization. And since it's acting really similar, exactly the same as the Discord servers and all these things, as of today, you can set any kind of requirement you just want to. So, for example, you can mix them and choose from any other on or off-chain requirements. For example, just guildgate your badges around allo lists, Discord roles, guild roles, anything. So it's all up to your creativity. Basically, this is an optional step in the POAP distribution flow, and besides, it can be really useful for helping you to recognize and reward like certain users or group of members within your community. It's really, really good to verify actually human attendees. So you don't necessarily need to set up the voice requirement or the monetization. You can just choose from any other requirement. So we just have new guides for that. I'm gonna put it in the secret chamber also, so you can check them out. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to see how everyone's can, make the most out of it.
This is a great step and advancement towards generalizing our guild model fully. I think this was probably the last missing piece in the puzzle for us to be able to do that, so that it's truly requirements, roles, and rewards, and nothing is like hanging off of that being adjacent. So that's super cool. Very exciting. Big advancements for the infrastructure and the tool. I know it seems small, especially, on one small feature, but in the back of it, it's actually a really big change, and we're super, super stoked about it. Next news is we have 3 new chains that we haven't announced yet. One is Exosama Network, the other is Evmos, and the third is Polygon Mumbai. So these were requested by you guys from the community, so we integrated them pretty fast. Very happy. I know the Exosama team have been using Guild for a while. They're super happy that we integrated this so that it's even, faster and more convenient and great to use Guild for them. So stoked for that. Next thing is actually an integration. We've integrated Polygon ID, which I'll give a little bit of intro about it if you guys don't know it yet. It's developed by the Polygon team. They've been working on it for a hot minute to have their own, well, essentially credentials, their credential systems. So Polygon ID is a trustless implementation of verifiable credentials for Web3 use cases. Essentially, they developed this for mostly developers to put into applications so that users, when they come to the website, they can show their verifiable credentials or generate zero knowledge proofs using these credentials. So, for example, proof that you're a human and you're over 18 without actually disclosing any personal information or how old you actually are. It's insane. We're living in the future, guys. This is such a cool feature, such a cool product. We've been talking with them since forever, since they had the idea for this, because we've been lucky that we've known them for a while. And also, just a little bit of tap on our shoulder, Guild is the first place where you can actually use this. So we are kind of the go-to-market / first utility for Polygon IDs. It essentially enables you to log in without a password. This makes for safer applications and safer communities. You can set it as a requirement, which just looks like on the interface as if that's the requirement. When the member joins, there's going to be a big QR code that they can scan with their Polygon ID application, which will generate the zero knowledge proof, and they'll get access without disclosing any personal information. It's awesome. Awesome. After this big advancement in human history of privacy, we'll go a little bit smaller. An improvement that we did on the Guild interface is when you go onto your Guild that you're the admin of and you had the rewards on the top, for the longest time, there was kind of this like logical issue that didn't come out for like a year. Nobody noticed it. But we did after a while, after using the tool, is that when you deleted a role that had a reward, let's say a Discord server or a role in Discord server, the reward did not delete from the top. So it still stayed connected to your guild, which apparently people didn't really delete roles before. That's why it probably didn't come out. But we've noticed it and we changed it. And now when you click on the little 3 dots in the corner of the reward, you can actually remove it. So hell yeah, this is a cute improvement. It's a small step, but now I wonder if there's any logical incoherences left in the tool. There probably is, but this is something that we found pretty recently, and it's cool. We already finished solving it, so perfect. And then I think last week, something really exciting happened. I don't know if you guys know Cooper Turley, but he just made his new venture to have Web3 music. He's a big advocate for Web3 music in general, and he also has his funds, his fund that invests in music. And now he made a community and a newsletter around this that's very smartly called Invest in Music. And they also started using Guild. And Cooper had an interesting idea to. Do you guys know what a favicon is? It's essentially the icon that's on the browser's tab when you open a website. And he asked us to be able to change that to match the brand and match the guild. And we were like, this is cute. This is a cute feature. And lucky for us, our front-end developer was so excited about it that he changed this and put it in the guild front end in like 3 hours. So eventually it wasn't on the roadmap, but Cooper made the ask. He had the idea, and then we put it in practice in a few hours because we were just so excited about it. And it was also a very small thing to do. So kudos to the team. Kudos to Cooper. Now it looks really cool when you have multiple guilds open. They actually have their logos as on your browser bar. It's really cool. One more thing that might seem small at first, but it's such a huge milestone. And that's why this community call is probably the most low-key, but like biggest one so far. I know Hannah and I talked earlier this week, like, what are we going to talk about this week? We were like, oh yeah, one of the features, and then, some community updates, and it's going to be a short one. And then while we were putting together the agenda, so many things happened that are actually pretty big. It's crazy. So anyway, without further ado, the small big thing is that we improved the account management yet again. The last improvement was that you could manually choose to add and unlink wallet addresses to your account. This time, we did the same with social accounts. So previously, you could only add new social accounts to your guild page and guild account if you went through the full process of connecting because there was a requirement or a reward that needed it. So if you had a Telegram account connected to your guild account and you wanted to change it, you had to disconnect it and then go through the full joining process again to change it. And now you can connect and disconnect much more freely. So this feature has been in the works, or at least on our list of things to do, for at least 9 months. At least 9 months. And I'm so incredibly happy that now it's here. People who are going to just start using the product, they won't even notice. It's such a needed feature, or in such also convenience and such a normal thing to do. But for us and for users who have been with us for a long time, how simpler, or how much simpler this makes the whole use case. So very, very, very happy about it. And on the same note, we also improved the join pop-up page. So when you click to join a new guild and you have to connect accounts, now not only your wallet, Discord, and Telegram pop up, but every social account's connection pops up that is required for that role. So let's say the role requires you to have something with Polygon ID. It requires to follow the guild project that you're trying to join. And there's also a CAPTCHA feature or something. And it pops up all those different accounts to connect. So everything that makes sense specifically with that guild, which I think is also a very cool, very smooth upgrade from what we had. And these two fit very well together in the account management flow. And then last but definitely not least, the most exciting thing, which we thought with Hannah that's going to be probably the only thing we're going to talk about today, is we introduced CAPTCHAs. And I know CAPTCHAs are sometimes incredibly cringe, and they are also not too hard to bot and exploit. But there's a big but. When you try to build a functioning server, you almost always end up having a verification system. Maybe not only guild, you also will have a role reaction happening and maybe even a CAPTCHA. Most of our users that we talk now have a separate bot for that. And we were like, why do people have to learn to use multiple bots to do this? We could just fit this into the guild model as a requirement and it would solve so many problems. And especially that CAPTCHAs become so much tremendously more useful if you combine them with other requirements. So let's say you have to complete a CAPTCHA. Oh, wait, one more thing. And it can be recurring requirements. So you could also set that like every 10th day, people have to redo the CAPTCHA, or like every year or every 2 months. It depends on you. So back to the story. So if you combine CAPTCHA, let's say every 10 days, I require you to complete a CAPTCHA. You had to pay me $20 and own my NFT to get access to my Telegram group. It's really cool. It's not as easy to bot, also doesn't really make sense. So this is a very, very, very cool feature. And we had the little idea today. Oh, wait, one more important thing is that this CAPTCHA, so the more importance is that it's also, we work on UX, like I said, convenience so many times today. Drink every time I say convenience, but we do prioritize UX a lot. So this CAPTCHA can not only be put on our website, so you have to complete the CAPTCHA when you join, but also put into our Discord embed. So the CAPTCHA can be completed directly through the Discord, where the join button usually is. Convenience, UX, it's amazing. I think this is the first time I've actually come across this double use case that CAPTCHA can be used in both places. So it's super cool. So today we had the little idea, what if we kind of ask you guys to collect a few of your cringiest, most fun, most weird CAPTCHAs that you've run into previously. We definitely have some of our own that we think are the cringiest, hardest, stupidest CAPTCHAs I've ever seen. So we'll throw some in there. And I hope you guys have some and can throw in the chat here, because I know you probably do. It's all of us go through that, I think, at least once a day. So if you have some, throw it in the chat. We'll throw ours into the secret chamber. They're really fun. We also found a Reddit. Norby went and looked and found a Reddit subreddit, which is just dedicated to weird CAPTCHAs. So we had a blast this afternoon looking at them. Let's go. Who has the funnest one? Oh my god, there we go. The puppy cupcake. The Chihuahua cupcake CAPTCHA. Oh, did you guys also see the pug or bread one? I think that was such a cute one. That was a few years ago. Amazing. Thank you, Floppy. Thank you, Fox, for sending it. Awesome. Okay, we'll keep the CAPTCHAs going. I'll continue with our little celebration piece. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna look at the CAPTCHAs right now because I won't be able to speak. They're too fun. So our little celebration is that, metrics and stuff aren't what we're building for only, and they're just numbers, and we like to see number go up like all of you, but we are actually super honored and delighted and happy and excited actually for the future. But the news is that Guild has come out of its alpha phase with 10,000 registered early adopters just over a year ago. And this week we have one of these nights we reached 1 million registered Guild users, which is crazy if you think about it. Also in a year, that's pretty cool. So we haven't done a collective celebration yet, but holy fucking shit, that's pretty cool. So that's exciting. We obviously are looking for more, as a product team, we're looking for more in-depth metrics than just the registered users. But because that can be said. Some people might say that's a vanity metric, but it's a nice. It was a big milestone for us, at least. Like it feels like a milestone still. So thank you so much for all of you who have trusted us. A lot of you have been here for more than a year, actively coming and giving us feedback and voicing your needs and advice and just supporting us in every way. So I don't know what to do to give back still, other than just doing our best to build the product and the community. But we'll brainstorm something like a good little treat, like at least something cute. So that's gonna look out for that. I'll think about that like every evening from now on to to think about something that might be worthwhile. Maybe a collectible, maybe something more. I don't know yet, but just a little thank you, because it's all of you, essentially. So thank you again. And I'll move on to the last two sections of our product stuff. Is also extremely happy that we do have an SDK, so that the Guild XYZ website that is just one version of our product, one interface. So it's the no-code tool for community builders or anybody essentially who permissionlessly comes and uses the product. It's the no-code version of our infrastructure. And we do have an SDK that we talk about fairly often, but the news now is that we usually talk about the SDK with some partners, but we also have it fully available for anyone who's excited and has a good product and just wants to use our SDK to build any permissioning into their own application or website or community. And this time, our SDK has been built into Spect, which is a form filling out product. Wait, I said that so weirdly, but like a product where you can fill out forms, and it's gated by our SDK. So that's super exciting. And we'll put it in here so you guys can check it out. If any of you tries it, let me know how it is. Give us feedback, because I just be very excited to know what this product feels like for you, what it's like using it. Do you think it's useful? Let us know. It looks nice, and we're more than thrilled that they used our SDK and chose that as the solution for that. And some more improvements that we have is the small improvements and fixes. We're at that section, but the difference is now is that we went through the list and picked out the ones that we want to say. We have over 25 or 30 fixes and improvements this past week. But the ones that we want to say is that we improved, as Hannah described it pretty in depth about the POAP changes. But with that new feature, we added more abilities to add new POAPs as rewards, and also improved some of the copy and interactions with this POAP integration. Also added the sign-up form for the payment requirements, which we also talked about previously, that when you want to enable the payment requirement, there's going to be a little form in the corner of it where you can apply so that we can enable it for you. And the rest we also said previously mostly with the POAP reorganizing. So with that, let's move into the community updates, shall we? We don't have a whole lot, but it's enough. So the first thing is many of you have been there with us last week, but we did have a Build with Guild event, which is actually the event where we have guests / we are the guests with projects who have used our SDK and have integrated our infrastructure that way. So last week it was Party Space, which is kind of this browser-based metaverse experience for events. and they customized the space for us a little bit, and we had some conversations with them on stage about the integration, party space, where it's going, where Guild fits in the picture, and all of that. We'll post a video of this. It's just went up onto our YouTube, but we'll post it here as well so you guys can see and listen in if you couldn't get to come. It's so interesting that it's a video now, because it actually makes it, because, it's been a very not just voice event, but it was super fun to run around. We could throw emojis at each other, almost like shoot it at each other, like a little heart or a little fire emoji. It was super fun. And then we also had a little event with our knights, but I'll give that over to Hannah to say a few words about it, how that was.
Yeah. So basically, last week we had our first night meetup. We just invited over to a butter session, to a butter workshop, our knights, and we had a really great time brainstorming about like how do they see the future of our guild, just to get a better sense of who they are, how they would love to, contribute to us, how we can help them to achieve their, personal projects and all these things. So actually, it was really fun, and I just wanted to put it to our agenda today and talk a little bit about it to see what is happening behind the scenes, how we are getting the knights more and more closer to our team. And just a sneak peek is we do have a lot of plans with them, but we're not sharing it yet because, we are still working on how we're going to structure it. But there's going to be really great things coming for the knights and also for the wannabe knights. So just, leaking some information about it.
Let's go, Knights. We're actually in the process of designing a full night experience, rather, or the whole what DAOs were saying, if last year and the year before, is like the contributor experience. Turns out it's really damn hard to think through even the process, but also let alone organize all of it. So you know how thoughtful we're trying to be. So it's probably going to take a little bit more time, as we want to make sure we include everyone who wants to participate and find good ways to do so and still stay curated and cozy. So yeah, we're working on it. Good news about community is a guild would definitely want to show is Base, Coinbase's new chain, and their community joined us on Guild. They already grew to 35,000 members. It's such an honor that they started using us, and it's their first choice. So definitely a shout out today for them. Very cool. Welcome, Base team. They're actually really, really nice to work with too. So I can thoroughly recommend to do that. And then a little funny mention here, not about Base. This is about another thing. This is the next thing. Is so as you guys might know, 101.xyz stopped their product and they're pivoting. And we used it in our requirements, in our full community strategy. So we did have 101 courses as requirements. Many of you, I think all of you actually completed, or almost all of you completed at least one of those courses. But we had to delete them because they don't work that way anymore. And that left a big hole in our community strategy. And we thought, okay, what if we really wanted to have something that's like a little claimable badge that signals that you're part of the community still, like you took the effort to join the guild and you're like exploring being a part of it. So we issued this like free to mint unlock NFT, which we then quickly realized it's actually tradable. So that was a mess. We got a heart attack because we didn't intend to do that. So we turned it into, it's the same purpose, at least in our eyes. We just want you to have something that's yours, it's free, it's on chain, it's cute. But now it's called Han Fan Club. So that's the NFT. It's really cute. It's the little chicken. I think it's unlimited, so you can still claim it at any point. We already have over 40K minted of those. So probably at this point, Hannah's token is the largest social token out there. Probably even bigger than Alex, I think, who's the OG, I think, one of the first actual social token owners. So pretty cool, pretty cool. We might actually play into this and make more for each team member eventually and have like little fan clubs within the community. But I have a big hunch that Hannah's gonna have the largest one forever, which is pretty fun. So if you guys haven't, mint it. It's free. It's cute. It's fun. So that was a good experience to learn from and also to participate in. And along this note of our community structure, the next thing when I want to talk about briefly in our community section here is the membership structure and the server updates. So as you might have noticed, not for all of you, but for actually very many of you, our server is like growing. It's massive. It's almost 75,000 people in it right now. We experience the server much differently than it was like 6 months ago. It's much more around farming our roles out for whatever reason, in the hopes of special rewards, which we don't actually have aside from what happens in the server. And half of it is support. So this isn't the type of community that we want to nurture and grow. We don't actually want to grow in numbers. We'd rather have focused, happy, a cozy space where we can share a lot of ideas and talk about community building in depth. And, just like a very honest, cozy, safe space where there's clear directions of where you want to go if you want to participate more. There's like working groups building on different projects and discussing different topics. Like today, I just saw some of you are way more talented than I thought you are, or I saw it first. And Veta, one of our wardens, has made, or previously has actually like multiple times made Dune dashboards based on guild data. And Louis, you wrote back that you'd like to have a little session about how to create Dune dashboard. So this is the type of stuff that we'd like to have more of. We'd definitely love to help facilitate these types of events where one of you teaches the other one for something that's a very necessary skill, like making a Dune dashboard. It's pretty cool to know how to do that. So yeah, for this reason, our guild is the first place where our new feature, which I don't think we have announced yet, but you guys can know obviously, of visibility attributes is possible to have set. So we do have hidden roles now and secret roles. A secret role means that you only see it once you already qualified and got the role. A hidden role means that that's only ever going to be visible for the admin of the group, which is necessary because this removes the incentive of farming out the role, because the purpose of the roles is to like show more of who you are and what your experience is and what your interest is. And in this case, the hidden role is very useful for the admin to know what you've been through, what other communities you're a part of, what other like asset, like NFTs you own, what other history you've been through, who else do you follow, and to kind of like have more of a tagging system without making 40 different roles on the server on each person, which gets very, very confusing and a lot. So our guild is the first where this is available, and we're making use of it. So we aren't sure about the strategy that we're doing yet, but be prepared that we're going to be a little bit more strict with the access and who gets to write and participate where, because we're only a small team and with small capacity. So we don't want to essentially put too much energy into cultivating spaces that we don't like participating in or feel that it's very extractive even for us. So we just want to make sure we can provide the most value that we can, and that's going to happen in smaller, curated conversations. So that's just a heads up. We'll let you know if there's any more updates coming in. But that's it for now. Just prepare that that's the direction we're taking. And then Norby will say a few words about our support. And that's probably getting closer to the end of our little talk today.
So hi again, guys. The support system on Intercom is my brainchild. I've been nurturing it in the past month, and I want to give a little bit of insight about why is it so important for us to pivot our support from Discord to Intercom. One of the first changes is that now the SKA channel requires you to get a role in the support channel, where is a little video and piece about how you can access us through our Intercom on our site. And the part is where it's very important to us is the metrics and the data we can get out from Intercom. So for example, if you guys write to us, and this was a big issue to our developers, if you guys write to us in SKA, we would need to ask an awful lot of questions about, for example, what browser are you using, what OS system are you using. So it's really hard to give one-on-one support to each individual. In our current flow, it basically works like we compile the data and we use this data to help our developers to solve these problems on a mass scale. So even though we hear the feedback that most of the time, or like a lot of the time, basically a bot answers to you, that doesn't mean that your input just disappears somewhere. That's what keeps us going in terms of building our support. So yes, in the future, basically, we're gonna phase totally out the SKA channel in terms of technical support, and we are gonna make a really great Intercom support system. And yes, basically that's it.
Thank you for that update. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions about the support, let us know in the server or in the stage chat right now. Sorry. It's getting the end of the call. You know how it goes. I always suffocate by the end. Although I've been hanging on pretty good this time. I don't know what's going on. I haven't had as many calls today. Maybe that's why. Okay, so TLDR, whenever we say we don't have a lot of things to say, we actually have 1 million things shipped. We just haven't communicated about it yet. And wow, there's a lot of things happening. I know quite a few of you here are extremely knowledgeable about how to use Guild, and the features and integrations that I just laid out. You already know what to do with them, already use some of them, and I respect you so much for that. For those of you that don't know what to do, we'll drop a demo and first explanation of Guild here, and kind of an introduction to know what to do with it. And yeah, with this, I think we can conclude today. Thank you so much for joining. I think, Hannah, you have a little treat for us today. Let's do that for closing.
Yes. Everything is set. I just started activating. So as always, we just want to say thank you for being here, attending the call, and following us on our journey and accompanying us. So we just want to say thank you with a tiny little pop. Per usual, there is two different kinds. There is the basic one and there is the premium one. But what is tricky about the pop distribution this time, it's going to happen exactly how it was on the Build with Guild event. So as of today, you just have to head over to our guild. You just have to put there, guild.xyz/our guild, and then you will find the POAP there. So you can get it, grab it from our guild. Don't forget, I just mentioned that it is acting as a reward. So whenever you are satisfying the requirements at the side, you can just scroll a bit up and there's going to be the Mint link. There's going to be the button that you just have to click for the Mint link. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining. Claim if you'd like to claim. Otherwise, appreciate you for coming. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.